So an unscripted Wild Katanas is here. I wanted to read and respond to some comments that were left on the latest video that we did talking about the Dragon Age video game. Not necessarily to solidify certain points, but more so address pushback on certain points that I've made that I feel like weren't really truly properly heard or taken in by the audience of the video. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to really go about this. Going on unscripted is really difficult, but I'm gonna try my best and respond genuinely to the comments that were laid out in front of me and yeah, navigate this as best as I can. I feel like in the OG base, I was pretty reasonable and fair when making my assertive claims about Dragon Age, not necessarily about the video game itself, but the discourse surrounding the game and a lot of other games as well. I don't think my assertion was really out of pocket or out of line in any way, shape, or form. Like, mind you, through that one video, I never once said, oh, Dragon Age is great and you guys are all just bullshitting, or oh, Dragon Age sucks and, you know, all the hate is justified because blah 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 blah. Like, I didn't do any of that. I specifically spoke on how people look at these video games whenever a slight political commentary or political note or political anything is added on to the game in question, and I feel like something needs to be said about that and nobody's really acknowledging it, honestly. I also feel like people are just blatantly kind of not listening to what I'm saying. My other MK video that came out like a month ago kind of proves that people don't really like to respond to the video itself, and more so they'll have selective hearing or just look at the title and then leave a comment acting as if they understood what the video was talking about and just generalize and then leave instantly without understanding anything. And that's kind of the, I guess, YT algorithm or the YT audience in 2024, which is pretty cool, I guess. So while reading through some posts, I decided to leave a few of these up as little notes to take a quick gander at and respond to directly in this fashion that I'm doing here. This has got to be the longest intro ever recorded, by the way. But, you know, I want it to be genuine and I want it to be honest. I've said it before. If somebody is providing reasonable pushback, I'm not afraid to change my outlook on things. How lame and stupid could I really come off when somebody's putting proof of burden directly in front of me that I can't refute, but I still try to refute it anyway? I don't ever want to be that guy. So let's look at the pushback I've been given here. Okay, so this first one reads, to squeeze in Assassin's Creed Shadows as a victim of political commentary into this video is downright diabolical or just a joke. I agree. To squeeze in Assassin's Creed Shadows as a victim of political commentary, that would be pretty damn diabolical. However, I did not do that. I wasn't squeezing it in as a victim of political commentary. When I specifically brought up Spider-Man 2, Stellar Blade, and Assassin's Creed Shadows in that last video, it wasn't to paint them as victims of political commentary. It was to paint those games as victims of people not wanting to talk about the games themselves and focus on the minuscule political commentary involved. Mind you, political commentary wasn't even involved in Stellar Blade. People were, as always, eager and super willing to call it woke just because it had a very small, slight hints of censorship with certain outfits. That's why I brought it into the mix. Spider-Man 2 got flack for quote-unquote going woke just because it had a couple of gay characters involved and people got set off by that. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that is not even out yet, has been catching the most flack for simply having a black protagonist among another female Japanese protagonist. But people are still mad because of that black protagonist. You see where I'm going with this? This is what I mean when I say people are too eager and too down to call things woke, because you don't even have to do that much in order to get that label added onto your game. So yes, I would still say Assassin's Creed Shadows is still very much a victim, because people are super hardcore hyper-fixating on the fact that there is a black protagonist in the game. We have no idea exactly what's going on in the game. We have no idea what commentaries are being involved in the game. We don't even know if the game is that political. But the fact that a black guy is taking front stage and center of that game, that somehow now is making it a problem, that somehow makes it bad. This comment here is not directly saying that, but that's kind of what the consensus online has been. A lot of people have bashed Assassin's Creed Shadows, I noticed, for very, very flip-floppy reasons that don't really add up, that I would argue just hinge straight up on racism. So I guess that's pretty cool. And by cool, I mean I hate it here. Alright, this one reads, "This game is trash, and honestly, when I play a game, I do it to escape reality, not play a game to be loaded with somebody else's personal insecurity, morality, and pushing a political agenda. It is absolutely not something I would want to pay for. It's not about having the wrong view. People just want video games to be video games and be fun like they were before. All we're cared about were glitches back then. Now we're in this situation. Every game that comes out is like this. Just look at Ubisoft and people wonder why they don't do well." I literally just talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows, oh my god. I mean, if you don't personally want to pay for it or play it, I mean, more power to you, that's cool. It's different strokes for different folks, whatever. I don't think I really care if it's you preference. I just don't really follow exactly how your precious escape from reality is at all compromised when you're still in a world with dragons and crazy magical powers and shit exists, but then also the ability to be a transgender or non-binary person is also there simultaneously. Like I don't understand, because there are also real world aspects involved in this fantasy world that like somehow like your ability to escape, your ability to indulge and enjoy this fantasy world is like it's now null and void, and now you can't do it anymore. Like it's impossible now for you because of those aspects. It kind of doesn't really add up, but okay, if that bothers you, then yeah, I'd definitely say don't play the game. Mind you, I'm still going through Dragon's Age myself. I haven't gotten to the non-binary character yet. I've only gotten through the trans stuff, and literally there's nothing even that political going on. I'm still increasing my bond with the other side characters, and I have not gotten a single political talking point about any of the side stories that I have encountered so far. This could definitely change. I could have missed a lot of stuff, but so far the only examples that I've been getting so far are the trans example that have been blown out of proportion, and the non-binary example that's also been kind of blown out of proportion. Those are just 2 instances out of an entire game, by the way. Like, if there were more than that, then sure, maybe I'd get it, but literally just those 2 exist, and that's enough to set this game off so far. I don't know, man. I just feel like we're being a little bit dishonest here, but okay. Hey, new games like this one suck because of modern political leftist ideologies being injected into the storyline instead of a creative plot. False. Newer games like this one are kinda sucky because gameplay is becoming more and more lacking and uninspired, and games are getting a lot lazier now and not putting in as much effort for gameplay in order to up the ante and continuously revoke more and more innovation. Gameplay and story are 2 separate things. It's understandable when you have a story-driven game like this or Mass Effect where you want your story to really, really shine, but nobody has said anything about the story whatsoever besides the 2 things everyone is aware of, the non-binary character and the trans thing. Again, if you wish to argue that a game story, or any story for that matter, can be really, really compromised due to way too many politics being enforced in said story and plotline to the point where the plotline itself is brutally compromised, that's understandable, that's fine. However, nobody can really talk about the plot within it of itself. Inserting LGBTQ ideology into a game is not a very wise sales pitch if your consumer base is straight heterosexual. Yikes. I for one will not buy this garbage. It's unimmersive. This is a fantasy RPG, not some gay marketing platform. Besides, when they focus on this crap, you can bet your money that some areas of the game will suffer, i.e. the writing. This is not a very good indication for their next IP, whatever that may be, that is if they survive the fallout. Already, this comment in particular is off to a horrible start by generalizing like that. I'm not really on board with just assuming that either the gaming consumer base or just the Dragon Age consumer base is all straight heterosexual. We have no idea how many people of LGBT or how many trans people specifically or whatever minorities are playing this game and would love to be represented and would love to get their representation invoked in this game. And again, for the upteenth time, magically, this is your custom character, so you have that choice to be black, white, Asian, mixed, whatever whatever, gay, straight, trans, not trans, it's all up to you and it's all your character, so nothing is truly being harmed when it's your character. I could understand that if it was already established character and now they're magically being retconned just for the sake of it, then yes, you would have a point, but this isn't the case. This is a subjective character that is yours and is original. I agree that the writing can indeed be compromised if you are too hyperfixated on pushing specific political narratives within your game or story. Yes, that is true. However, once again, I feel like it's kind of weird that nobody can give a proper example of what that really looks like in this game specifically, other than the fact that your character can be trans and there's a non-binary character within the game. Asmongold is usually right about everything. Yeah, no, you just gotta get the hammer. You gotta literally just get banned. You literally just have to get banned on principle for that. I just think this is a very mediocre game made by activists who are targeting small children in a franchise that became popular for its mature content. It's satire, for the love of... Asmongold is a character. He's play acting to trigger his audience. Cause I brought up Asmongold within the frame of subject because of how he represented the choice dialogue in Dragon's Age. That was a big focal point in the last video. No. I refuse to ever acknowledge the idea that he was just joking and was 100% aware he could go back, especially when you literally see him standing there for like 2 minutes wondering if he could repeat it again without going back to a save file or whatever. Because in that instance, he just genuinely looked like a complete dumbass. Like, you can't convince me he was doing that on purpose. You literally can't. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, he does know who he's catering to, but I don't think he's aware of how the system works whatsoever, or the fact that he still has a choice. Or if he does, then that was just a god-awful bit that had no actual humor behind it whatsoever. Mind you, his audience was literally cheering him on and basically taking his side on the entire ordeal. He's not doing that because he can or can't go back. He's doing that because out of all the gender identity options, not one is just basic male or female. Good rage bait though. You worthless fucking retard. Whoa, this one right here, this is rage bait that I'm reading right now. Ooh, but you know what? Nah, it's cool. We're... Chill zone. That's the one comment I get mad at. Okay, I know you're probably just as stupid as Asmongold, which would 100% add up, but let me break it down for you. You have the option to be basic male or female. I know paying attention isn't in your strong suit. You literally have the option while you're making the custom character whether or not you want to be non-binary at the very beginning when you're making your custom character. You also have the option to be trans and explore trans identity options that will be provided later on within the game should you commit to that in that segment of the game. You can also simply not do it and you will be by default a basic male or female if you choose to not go through with either one of these options. Good rage bait though. Good, that one actually worked out. So you're the winner, dude. So let's analyze your pinned ego. Any bigotry detected in comments is gonna get banned if caught. What kind of power trip is this? Ban conditions at the start? I mean, how big do you think you are, bro? I don't think I'm very big at all, bro. I've never really been afraid to ban people, especially for actual fucked up takes. So, yeah, I will continuously ban people if they're unironically being a bigot. Like, that's never gonna be an issue for me, chief. I could care less how that makes me look at the end of the day, or if you feel like I'm infringing on your precious freedom of speech in the YT comments section. If you're actually being bigoted in my comments, then yeah, I'm going to ban it. And did you know there's a note saying establishes transgender identity and unlocks new dialogue options in future conversations? Do you know any gamer who wouldn't want to unlock? Huh? Do you even think, bro? Oh, sorry. I know you obviously think. It's just the woke way. Victim mentality. What the fuck? Why would anyone want to unlock something that they don't want to begin with? What is this 5-year-old logic?
Cope, the video review. Not only did you try to minimize the woke agenda in this game, something that doesn't have anything to do with an RPG dark fantasy, but you also go full edgelord trying to stay neutral and cool, showing Asmongold like he was some far-right propaganda tool. In a world where magic exists, why you would need to play as mutilated subhuman trans character. Aha, yes, the blatant transphobia. Gotta love it, gotta love it. You could take a wild guess what I'm gonna even do with that one. I think you have the problem of basing arguments on talking points. You generalize everything about the controversies to basically it being about left versus right. Good. Sorry, my bad. Speaking for myself and probably a lot of people, Dragon Age is just garbage. It's 2024 going into 25. There's no gore system, no in-depth melee combat like other games in this genre to compare to. Physics are a joke. Games like Mass Effect could have garbage gameplay but make up for it by having a good story with replayability through multiple choices. Compare this game to BG3 and there isn't even a contest. I don't feel bad for college students who make ass loads of money and choose to work with the greedy corporate entity. Game devs at certain studios make way more money than the average person, and it's almost dystopic when you look at how bad the global economy is and then see these people to lecture the average person with their politics when most people are struggling to buy games with the little money they have to get an escape for the harsh realities of the world we live in. When I turn on my TV to watch a movie, I don't want to do it to be lectured. That's what people are mad about. None of this was about left versus right. This was about the fact that true conversations of substance can't really be made about video games these days anymore, because as soon as even a slightly political comment is made on it, people instantly want to harp on the politics that are involved. This game, despite all its faults, despite all its flaws, is an example of that among the other ones I brought up in the OG video. This isn't about right wing versus left wing. I mean, maybe that's on me since I whipped this out around the corner of election day, but come on, man. Like, I like how I get accused of generalizing, but then look at the rest of this paragraph. What is this? You don't feel bad for college students who make assloads of money who still will have to pay that back with student loan debts or whatever they have going on. Isn't that a generalization within itself? But okay. Like, what, do you think every single college student whatsoever is just plotting to like throw politics or subliminal messaging in whatever it is that they do? Is that really how it operates for you? Like, you like, what is this comic? You have no idea what anybody in any industry whatsoever is going through whatsoever. How can you make such a bland statement? Like, have you any idea how many people get screwed over in their workforce? How many people get fired in their workforce? How many people are going through absolute hell? How many people are getting abused in their workforce, regardless if they're working in the gaming industry or not? Like, I don't know what you just conjured in your head that you felt the need to spit out here, but this is not it, dude. Like, I don't even know how to navigate this because it's just so all over the place unnecessarily. Katana's fans, you ban people because you're afraid of the reality that you're wrong and can't debunk people in argument. Well, it's a good thing I just spent the last 16 plus minutes trying to, and also that's not why I ban people. I quite literally just told you on multiple occasions exactly why, but okay. I'm a trans and completely fine as long as I can play the game I want. You want to appear mature, yet you act like toddler who can't accept that people have different thoughts. That's what you called hypocrite. Man, I am not here to pretend I'm fucking mature. I don't care. What? And as far as, you know, different outlets and different opinions and all that, dude, I'm so cool with hearing different opinions and different viewpoints. I absolutely love hearing other perspectives. I think that's great. People having different worldviews and outlooks on everything, that's what makes the world go around. People are different, and that's what makes everyone special and unique. Nobody can be replicated. However, the only time I'll really take issue is when somebody's being a genuine dick about it, or actually just being racist. I don't understand why there's a problem with me not liking racism in my comments. I don't understand. Maybe because, you know, lately it's been kind of a trend to basically actively hate different people. It's been a trend to actively be bigoted because, you know, certain influencers made it that way, but you're not catching that here, dude. I've already said it before. I'll gladly say it again. I am by no means flawless. I'm more than willing to admit when and if I'm wrong. I've never had had that problem before, and I'm not afraid to admit if I'm wrong about Dragon Age overall. Hell, I'm not even really defending Dragon Age, I'm just defending the fact that you can indeed have a good game while including a lot of political talking points in it, so long as it isn't distracting or abhorrent to the game itself. I can't speak on the non-binary stuff with the other side character, but I can speak on the trans thing as I've just played through it and it's kinda hard to avoid. So I can fairly say, given everything in context, this part of the game really isn't that bad, and I don't think this destroys the game. What destroys the game is the gameplay being lackluster. But something tells me that it's a lot easier to talk about just about the other two things rather than that grand aspect of, you know, a video game. Which is why I'm surely convinced that no true conversation can be held about gaming anymore so long as there's even a slightly political point within said game that everyone wants to focus on rather than anything involved in the game. This is what I mean when I say media literacy discourse kinda just sucks ass, because everybody's too emotionally invested to the point where no reasonable conclusion can really be made without harping feelings and trust me bro receipts. Nobody's actually listening to what's being said. If they did, people wouldn't have thought I was defending Dragon Age as a whole in my last video, and the fact that I gotta come back and establish that I'm not, I'm talking about something else related to Dragon Age is kinda sad, and just goes to show just how fucked up the conversation already is no matter how hard I try. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Man, doing this shit unscripted is really rough. I just hope I really laid out all my points in the best way possible, all things considered. God, what sucks about this is I still gotta make the Spider-Man video addressing the woke allegations. Kill me. Whatever. Like the video, or dislike it. Not like it's gonna matter if you dislike it. They took down the dislike ratio anyway, so who cares?